Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I am Tommy Burton, and today we're going to be talking about Don McLean and his album American Pie. This was released on October 24th, 1971 on the United Artists label. This was the second album released by Don McLean, and it's a folk rock album, or singer-songwriter. Definitely one of those albums to come out of that movement in the early 70s. Elton John, and people of that ilk. I just threw out Elton John. Neil Young kind of got lumped into that. Joni Mitchell. There were several people. Recorded at the record plant in New York City. The album is dedicated to Buddy Holly, as indicated down here on the bottom. And this was a hugely successful album, a lot of acclaim, and included in the book 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. This was his second album. The first album, Tapestry, really didn't do anything commercially. McLean was one of proteges of Pete Seeger, kind of came through the ranks playing with him throughout the 60s. And so this was meant to be a very unified work from him. He was heavily influenced by the Beatles and Sgt. Pepper, and he wanted this album to be similar. Now, let's go ahead and get the elephant in the room out of the way. The title song, American Pie. Hugely successful, still regularly played on radio to this day. And the whole idea of this, according to him, was this sense of loss. Of course, the album was dedicated to Buddy Holly, who was a huge icon for McLean. And so the song, all about the day the music died, concerning the trio of artists that died in the plane crash with Buddy Holly, Buddy, Ritchie Valens, and the Big Bopper, J.P. Richards. Now, also, some other things were going on personally for McLean at this point. His marriage was falling apart. And this was around the time that a lot of that sort of hippie optimism and hope was starting to kind of give way. And so it definitely informed a lot of the writing on the album. Ed Freeman was the producer. He used some guys that were very accomplished musicians, but he didn't go for the studio guys. He did that on purpose because he wanted to get sort of a live band feel. So they got together and rehearsed in a rehearsal studio for a couple of weeks, and then they went and recorded the album. McLean really never sang the same way twice, and so if you listen to different takes of the songs, they were very they were different just because of the phrasing. Now, mine does not have the famous inner sleeve with the free verse poem, but that was a part of the original release. And of course, the song Sister Fatima, who that song made the rounds. I think it was later omitted. And I think there was some early version of the album where that's misspelled. But there's other songs on here like Vincent, a tribute to Vincent van Gogh, Winterwood, Everybody Loves Me, Baby, and Babylon. These songs were all very much... George Michael recorded a song, re-recorded a song, or did a cover of the song, The Grave. So some people may know that song as well from George Michael. But it's one of those things that it's very much of its time, very much of that singer-songwriter movement. Other artists like Gordon Lightfoot, Harry Chapin. The list goes on and on. It's a solid effort. All the songs hold together very well, and of course, they may not match the intensity or the popularity of the title track, but there's some really nice playing and some fantastic songs to be heard on this album. So American Pie by Don McLean, today's Daily Record. If you know this album, comment down below. Like, subscribe, share, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's TommyBurton75. I love interacting with you guys. In the meantime, I'll see you all again tomorrow with another Daily Record.